Good evening. Welcome to yet another edition of Guftagu. Guftagu यानी general discussion, general chat, and mauj masti, any topic, freedom to speak, barring some restrictions that we have laid. But otherwise, जो दिल में आया वो बात करो गुफ्तगू में, अपने दिल का हाल सुनाओ, और जो भी है और भी गम है ज़माने में. But don't worry about it. Here we are there to share and care in whatever way we can. I think the best thing is that it's such a safe space for communication that even if somebody talks about it, it really doesn't matter. यहाँ पे तो we just want to share and be with each other at least for the next hour or so when we can express ourselves. Essentially वही हम देख रहे हैं कि हम कितना एक दूसरे के साथ मिलजुल के रह पाएंगे. As they say, joy shared is joy doubled and sorrow shared is sorrow halved. तो खुशियाँ बांटो, दुख भी बांटो, दुख हल्का हो जाता है. रोना है तो रो लो, मन हल्का हो जाता है. So we can go this way and enjoy ourselves. We are in the evenings of our life, most of us, unless some youngster has joined, he or she may feel कि क्या बात कर रहे हैं यार बुढ़ा लोग. But no worries, we are here to enjoy life. क्योंकि जितने दिन हम जी चुके और आगे इतने जीने वाले नहीं हैं. So let's maximize the time that we have with camaraderie, friendship, and relationship with each one of us. We are from different parts of India or even across locations. So अच्छा लगता है कि एक दूसरे को जानते हैं. Tomorrow when we have to make a visit somewhere, we'll have some known face. So ये भी अच्छी बात है इसमें. Thanks to seniors today as a platform that they have given us for various activities. It's not just Guftagu. Guftagu is one small activity out of about 15-20 things that they have been doing. And I'm sure many of you are participating in other events also, where there is music forming a very important component. Then we have doctors coming in and telling. Some health webinars are there, sessions are there for yoga or for healing. So many things. Every day there is something that keeps us occupied. So who is doing it for us? It's Seniors Today. So huge thanks to Seniors Today for enabling us to come under one roof, discuss and enjoy ourselves. So I think most of the people are known faces, but still I would like to broadly tell that while we know what is expected of this, some more people are likely to join, but we normally give a topic for discussion. Though we can discuss anything in and around a topic, just to give it some semblance of structure. उसको हम एक दिशा देने के लिए एक टॉपिक रखते हैं. उसके इर्द गिर्द जो भी होता है we can always talk. But we avoid talking politics and religion. बाकी सब जायज़ है. So we don't want to get into any controversy. उसके लिए हमने वो दो टॉपिक हटा के रख दिया है. So today's topic, I thought, just yesterday, that was on 29th, which was a Monday yesterday, schools reopened for my grandson. So I thought, why not talk about our first day in any area, any space, whether be it school, be it college, be it at the work office, or be even the first day of your retired life. कैसा था, क्या था, what do you recall? And if there is anything interesting coming out of that, kindly share with us so that it will also help others to talk about their. There's always a inhibition to start a session. But if somebody talks, that inspires another person to talk. So this creates a multiplier effect. Raman Saab to pehle haath upar kar diya hai. He is the veteran of this group. And he is a guy who inspires everyone with his knowledge as well as the wisdom that he possesses, having lived for over 80 years and still a strong man with clear-cut views and communication. Hats off to you, Raman sir. Very good
Thank you.
evening to you. So please go ahead and share
I would
anything
like to
that is
set
the
the
first,
ball. I
anything
would
that is
like to set the ball rolling. As they say,
excellent,
we'll
excellent.
set a small ball and a big ball. That is a tennis ball and a football. Okay. I
Yeah,
would like to tell you,
post IPL, you're the first one to talk.
I first went to school when I was under 5 years of age. Those days, schools were not what we see today. Of course, we all know that. Being all senior citizens, I don't have to tell you that. But the school to which I went was something special. There were two teachers, a lady and a gentleman. They were husband and wife. Remember, this is in 1942-43. Okay. And they had a child. தூளி கட்டி போடுவாங்க தமிழ்ல சொல்றதா இருந்தா. I hope, I don't know whether everybody understands Tamil here. That is, they just put a saree, hang it on a rope and put the child inside to sleep. யானைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, தூளின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க தமிழ்ல.
Yeah,
The school had the only thing I remember about this school, because I was too young then to remember anything else. One particular day, I remember, the child will start whimpering. You see, the school itself was in the front, and rear there was a kitchen and a small hall kind of thing in which the teachers lived. It is a very curious arrangement. And when the child started whimpering, she will ask, the lady will ask a senior student, a man who was a boy who was strong enough, go and swing the cradle or whatever you want to call it, hammock or whatever, and he will go and take care of the child. Okay. And the same day, the teacher bought one small basket. We were wondering what it was. It looked like she is going to give us something to eat. Maybe it's a special day. Well, it was a small basket of onions. She dropped one onion in front of each student. We were about 25 students in that elementary school. We were asked to peel the onion, and when we were done with the peeling, the monitor as such, he came again with the empty basket and collected one by one, and took it and put it in the cooking pot for whatever purpose. This is my experience in pre-first standard. Okay.
Oh.
Now I will tell you about a small experience I had when it was my 7th standard. Unfortunately, we started studying ABCD only from our 7th standard.
Okay.
Because it was just after before independence, after independence, all that English is a Velakaram Bhasha Namakadku, that kind of thing. Put off English year after year. First, it was in 3rd standard itself, ABCD. Went to 4th, 5th, 6th. As I was moving up, the English was also just moving ahead of me. We started ABCD only in our 7th standard. Okay. We had a beautiful, excellent man as a teacher, one Guru Swami Iyer, whom I will never forget. He was a devotee of Ramakrishna. He used to allot, he was our all subject teacher. He used to allot one period for reading from Ramakrishna's Upadesam, the stories of Bhagavan Ramakrishna, the moral kind of thing. And at weekends, he used to call us to his home, read a story, and give us small things like a chocolate, a biscuit, or a peppermint, or something to eat. Even 10 peanuts for that matter. Such a kind man, he didn't have any children. That is another thing. You see, one of these days, there was very heavy rain forecast. The sky was dark with cloud. And the headmaster called the roll call and said, it's going to rain heavily. You all can go home. After all the periods, after this minute, they are cancelled. And this Guru Swami here came and spoke to us. Please go home immediately. Don't waste your time on this, looking at this or that. I assure you, till you reach your home, there won't be rain. That is, the good man said that. Believe it or not, I was the student living farthest from the school. And I briskly walked home. The moment I went in and put my bag down, it was starting to rain cats and dogs. Really,
Wow.
you can't believe it. Such a heavy rain. And all we could think, yeah, the next day, all the students assembled together. Yes, I too noticed. Sir said that it won't rain, and it didn't rain. That impression is something unforgettable. Thank you.
Thank you, Raman sir. Just one question I would like to have, or your view on this particular aspect that I want to talk about. Did you enjoy going to school? Or were you always thinking, "Arey, kya, what life here, school? It will be better in college." And once you go to college, you felt school better. And once you go to college, "Arey, we should now get a job." You always.
Yeah, I can understand that. I didn't go to a college. My education stopped with SSLC, as they call it. And I wrote public service commission, entered as a clerk in government service. So I don't know much about college life. But about school, there was one particular school where I studied for 1 year, which I detested because it was a very strict school. The headmaster was terrifying the students like anything. It was a Christian school, no aspersions on Christian teachers. The best school I studied is also another Christian school, a branch of the school actually. This particular headmaster was feared by the people.
Okay.
The headmaster's pune, if he comes, we will all tremble. Yara Kubra Parano, is it going to be me? Something like that. And he was a very hard taskmaster.
Okay.
At that 1 year, I detested going to school. All other years, I was fortunate to have excellent, very good people as my teachers, very knowledgeable, scholars in Tamil, very proficient in maths, unforgettable people whom I can only, actually, I scored 75% in 1954 in maths, which was considered a good score in those days. Not unlike today, where they score even 100. Actually, the maths teacher called me. Where were you sitting in your class? I didn't notice you anywhere at all. You have scored such good marks. I told him where I was sitting, who was sitting by my side, and all these details. The good man whose name was Sampurnam Iyer, he told me, I am sorry I did you an injustice. If I had noticed your talent, I would have paid some attention on you and you would have scored 100% and brought credit to this school. I'm sorry about this. Excuse me. Can you imagine a teacher saying this? Great man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The commitment levels of teachers those days was much different than what we find now. Now it is more like 1 hour tuition and they are done. But there are people who commit and then just keep on teaching and training and impart knowledge essentially.
Matter of fact, we can even have a topic, my most respected teacher.
Why
People
not?
will have very good recollections to talk about their teacher, or we can talk even today.
Yeah, it's all, I mean, in and around the topic, there is absolutely no problem. Another point is whether, as a child, if you are given a choice, whether you want to go to school today or not, if that question is asked, what would have been your normal answer?
That's very difficult to say. Because I mostly, as I told you, I enjoyed my school.
Okay.
Because of the good fortune of having very good teachers.
I feel.
So I would look forward to going to school really.
Okay.
And nowadays we think with my knowledge as it is today, I can satisfy my teachers more. I will make them happier and I will score better. But that is only an illusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayaraman sir. It was very enlightening for all of us to know so much. Okay, who's the next? Who would like to share anything? Okay, Kumar Akhuri Kumar, chaliye. Please unmute yourself, ji.
Was this gentleman singing when the program was before the start of the program?
Yes.
Sir, very beautiful singing. I congratulate you. I thought that It is somebody else singing. It is not Rafi or Kishore Kumar. Who is this? So it was so good and so nice. Congratulate you for
Okay,
that.
okay, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
well sung. I didn't know. I thought somebody was. I think I thought it was Firoz playing in the background some music.
Yeah, I thought it is recorded music. It was so good and so perfect.
Yeah, yeah. It was with strings. You were doing it, right? Okay, go ahead, sir.
हाँ, रमन साहब का तो स्टोरी बहुत बढ़िया लगा। स्कूल की बात हो रही थी तो
जी.
मेरे स्कूल की भी बात याद आ गई। मैं बचपन में क्लास 8 में था, जिला जिला स्कूल में था, पढ़ता था। तो उस
Okay.
समय लंच में हम लोग घर चले जाते थे, क्योंकि फ्राइडे था, वो करीब 1 घंटे का लंच होता था। तो हम घर चले जाते, तो घर से लौटते समय हम कजन ब्रदर भी 2-3 साथ आते जाते थे। तो लौटते समय एक फील्ड था जिसका बाउंड्री दिया हुआ था, वो जाली वाला बाउंड्री रहता था। तो हमने बोला कि कौन इसको जंप करेगा। तो सभी ने बोला कि नहीं, चोट लग जाए, हमने कहा कि नहीं, हम जंप करेंगे। जंप तो कर गए, लेकिन पैर लग गया, और लगने के बाद यहाँ पर ये फट गया
अरे.
Oh,
फोरहेड पर, तो ब्लीडिंग होने लगा। तो कजन भाई ब्रदर थे, जो कागज लेकर, कपड़ा लेकर बांध दिए यहाँ पर, और डर से घर नहीं लौट सकते थे, डांट पड़ेगी। चले गए स्कूल। स्कूल जैसे बाउंड्री के अंदर गए, एक टीचर की नजर पड़ी हम पर। उनका नाम था शम शर्मा। वो केमिस्ट्री लैब के डेमोन्स्ट्रेटर थे। वो हाथ पकड़ के डांटे और केमिस्ट्री लैब में ले गए। उन्होंने फट से स्प्रिट लैंप जलाया, एक
oh.
कपड़ा जलाया, और उस कपड़ा को मेरे माथे पर यहाँ साट दिया। बोला कि अब जाओ, अब कुछ नहीं करना है। उसके बाद से वो ठीक हो गया। वो दाग अभी तक रहता है, मार्किंग मेरा हो गया आज तक। तो वो घटना हमको याद है मेरे। तब से हम समझ के अचानक कोई काम नहीं करना चाहिए। अगर कोई मना करता है तो उसको समझना चाहिए। तो वो घटना हमको बहुत याद आती है। अभी हमारे जहाँ देखते हैं वो घटना याद आ जाती है। तो वही अभी स्कूल की बात हो रहा तो रिमाइंड हो गया कि मेरा भी था। ओके, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू. और आपका कुछ पहले दिन का कोई किस्सा याद आता है आपको, स्कूल का या कॉलेज का या नौकरी का, जो भी?
नौकरी का ही एक है। बोकारो स्टील प्लांट में हम थे, क्वालिटी कंट्रोल में।
हाँ.
तो एक समय आया, 85 का समय था, 1985। तो नेवी का एक मटेरियल बनना था, नेवी का
ओके.
मटेरियल बनना था। तो उसमें हम लोगों को ऑब्जर्वेशन करना था कि एक्चुअल जो फॉलो करना है वो हो रहा है कि नहीं। तो उसमें इनगोट बनता था। इनगोट बनते समय उसमें कुछ समय के बाद उसमें ऊपर से क्वेंचिंग करना था पानी डालकर।
ओके.
अब जब कर ही रहे थे तो जो ऑपरेशन के स्टाफ थे, वो चूंकि 5 बज रहा था, तो भागने के चक्कर में पानी उसमें डाल दिया जल्दी। हमने मना किया कि पानी मत डालो, पानी मत डालो, बार बार कह रहे थे, लेकिन वो नहीं मान रहा था। पाइप उठा दिया। तो हमने सोचा कि जरूर कुछ एक्सीडेंट होगा। मैं अपने आप को प्रिकॉशन ले लिया, और जैसे वो पानी डाला, वो ब्लास्ट इतना कस किया ना कि
My
उसका
God.
कान बहरा हो गया, फट गया।
My
और
God.
मैं तो पिलर के पीछे छिप गया था। इतना
नो.
आवाज हुआ कि ऊपर से लोग दौड़े दौड़े आए, क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ, एक्सीडेंट हुआ। लेबोरेटरी के स्टाफ थे, वो कहाँ है, दिखाई नहीं दे रहे थे। हम तो कोना में छिपे हुए थे, और उसको लोग लेके हॉस्पिटल चले गए। वो तो उसके बाद से वो जो कान का पतरा छटा, वो कभी ठीक नहीं हुआ। तो इसलिए वहां हम लोगों को बोला गया कि फर्स्ट सेफ्टी रखिए, कोई भी काम कीजिए अपने आप को सेफ्टी रखिए, और प्रिकॉशन लेके काम कीजिए। इसलिए सभी को हम लोग उस समय से करते थे कि भाई पहले सेफ्टी लो, उसके बाद काम करो। अगर लाइव रहेगा तो मटेरियल, मान लीजिए मटेरियल रिजेक्ट हो गया, एक पार्ट रिजेक्ट होगा, सेकंड पार्ट बनेगा, लेकिन प्रिकॉशन लेकर काम करो। इसलिए उसके बाद से हम हमेशा, हम लोग, हम क्या, सब कोई क्लास लिया गया उसके लिए कि भाई फर्स्ट प्रिकॉशन सेफ्टी लिया जाए, उसके बाद काम किया जाए।
सही सही
तो
है
ये
यार.
स्टील स्टील प्लांट का ये बहुत बड़ा प्रिकॉशन सिस्टम रहता है कि बिना प्रिकॉशन कोई काम नहीं।
Look before you leap.
ओके, ओके, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू अकबर जी. ज्ञान शुक्ला जी हाथ ऊपर किए हुए हैं. अब मैं आई जस्ट लाइक टू टेल यू दैट देयर इज एन ऑप्शन फॉर यू टू रेज योर हैंड यूजिंग द रिएक्शन बटन. सो नेक्स्ट whoever would like to speak can definitely press the reaction button and raise your hand. ज्ञान शुक्ला जी, गो अहेड. आप बताइए, आपको क्या, आपका तजुर्बा क्या रहा? अनम्यूट करिए आप अपने आप को, अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ। अभी अनम्यूट हुए नहीं आप सुनाई नहीं दे रहे हैं। स्क्रीन में लेफ्ट साइड कॉर्नर पे म्यूट
हाँ
बटन।
हाँ,
अब ठीक,
अब हो गया,
अब ठीक है।
हाँ। मेरी शुरू की एजुकेशन जो है वो घर ही पे हुई। मेरी मदर ने ही मुझे पढ़ाया। उस वक्त कोई जरूरी नहीं होता था कि केजी या फर्स्ट में ज्वाइन करा जाए। मैं घर में 1-2 साल पढ़ के, एक सीतापुर में स्कूल था, मुझे याद है, हिंदू कन्या पाठशाला में लड़के लड़कियां शुरू में पढ़ते थे। तो मेरे बड़े भाई साहब वहाँ ले गए। वहाँ टीचर ने खुद ही कह दिया कि ये यहाँ, वहाँ सब बच्चे खेल खिलौना खेल रहे थे। उनका नहीं नहीं, ये यहाँ के लायक नहीं है। उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि इससे बहुत ज्यादा आगे है, तो उन्होंने वहां से मुझे हटा दिया। मैं प्राइमरी की ज्यादातर एजुकेशन में घर पे ही पढ़ा, लेकिन मेरी एज कम थी तो 5th में मुझे ज्वाइन करना पड़ा प्राइमरी स्कूल। बोर्ड था 5th का वहाँ। फिर उसके बाद 6th में जब मैं 9 साल का हुआ तो 9 साल में फिर मेरा एडमिशन। मुझे एक किस्सा याद आता है 7th का। मेरी मैथमेटिक्स ऐसे काफी अच्छी रही, तो 7th में एक पेपर में मेरे सवाल सब सही थे, लेकिन एक टीचर जिन्होंने जांचा उन्होंने 30 में 29 नंबर दे। एक नंबर इसलिए काट दिया जो इनवर्स प्रोपोर्शनल और डायरेक्ट प्रोपोर्शन का रीजन मैंने पूरा बड़ा डिटेल में लिख दिया।
ओके।
ये डायरेक्ट प्रोपोर्शन क्यों हुआ है, इनवर्स प्रोपोर्शन क्यों होता है, पूरा। दोनों का इसकी क्या जरूरत थी लिखने की सवाल में, मुझे इतनी अकल नहीं थी, इसलिए उन्होंने एक नंबर उसका काटा। तो मेरे जो टीचर थे जो पढ़ाते थे, उनका लिख दिया तो लिख दिया, उनको काटना नहीं चाहिए। वो मार उनसे मतलब लड़ने को तैयार हो गए कि नहीं इसका एक नंबर एक क्यों काटा। अरे उन्होंने कहा छोड़िए सर, एक नंबर में क्या जाता। बड़ी मुश्किल से उनको शांत किया। तो इसके से भी टीचर होते थे जो अपने बच्चों को, मतलब अपने स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत मानते थे, बहुत चाहते थे। वो जमाने अलग थे मेरे ख्याल से।
हाँ, इसको आजकल के जमाने में बोलते हैं इंफॉर्मेशन ओवरलोड। जरूरत से ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन दे देना वो ऐसे
सही
ही
बात
होता
है।
है। तो एकदम। बट 4 साल 5 साल तक आप घर में ही पढ़े हैं अदर।
जी जी।
उस समय वो चल जाता था।
हाँ, एक बगल में एक हमारे टीचर थे वाजपेयी जी, वो ट्यूशन स्कूल टाइप का ट्यूशन पढ़ाते थे शाम, तो वहां भी 1-2 घंटे चले जाते थे बस। बाकी मेरी मदर पढ़ाती थी और घर में ही पढ़े, डायरेक्ट
तो
एडमिशन।
आपका ज्ञान उस समय दूसरे बच्चों से कहीं ज्यादा गुना आगे था।
हाँ, तो उन्होंने हिंदू कन्या पाठशाला में मुझे कहा कि अभी यहाँ नहीं एडमिशन इसका फर्स्ट में होगा।
अच्छा अच्छा
बोले
अच्छा।
इससे ज्यादा इनको आता है। फर्स्ट या केजी मुझे ध्यान नहीं, वो खेल खिलौने वाला था।
अच्छा, आप केजी में गए या नहीं?
जी
अब केजी किंडरगार्टन भी किए हैं आपने?
नहीं, केजी जी कुछ नहीं किया।
कुछ नहीं किया। हाँ, हमारे जैसे है।
डायरेक्ट प्राइमरी में 5th में बस बोर्ड का एग्जाम दिया 5th का, तो उसका 6th में, बल्कि 6th में हमारी 2-3 महीने एज कम पड़ रही थी, तो मदर ने फिर बढ़ा के लिखाई।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा।
तब जाके, क्योंकि 9 साल उसमें होना जरूरी था 6th में।
हाँ। अच्छा, हमारे यहाँ तो 5 साल में एक फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड में हुआ करते थे, तो 6 में यानी 11 साल का होना चाहिए था।
हाँ,
तो आपका थोड़ा जल्दी हो गया सब कुछ। बहुत अच्छा। वेरी गुड, थैंक यू सो
मेरा
मच।
इसका थ्रू आउट फर्स्ट क्लास कैरियर रहा अब तो एमएससी।
अरे यार, आप तो मुझे शर्मिंदा कर रहे हो ऐसा बता के। चलिए, अच्छी बात है, बहुत अच्छा लगा आपसे बात करके। शोभा जी हाथ ऊपर किया हुआ है, सो आप अनम्यूट कर लीजिए एंड प्लीज गो अहेड एंड शेयर योर स्कूल लाइफ, कॉलेज लाइफ, नौकरी वाला लाइफ, जो भी है, फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस आपका।
गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू।
वेरी गुड इवनिंग।
मैं अपने ऑफिस का एक एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करूंगी। फर्स्ट डे ऑफ माय ऑफिस।
ओह लवली।
जब मैं फर्स्ट टाइम आई वाज एम्प्लॉयड इन 78, तब उस समय मुझे फॉरेनर से डील करना होगा ये मुझे नहीं पता था। अचानक से जब मैं ऑफिस पहुंची तो मुझे 2-4 फॉरेनर क्लाइंट्स को दे दिया गया कि आप इनको कन्विंस करिए। और मैं झांसी से हूँ और मैं बहुत अच्छा लिख लेती हूँ, इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छा पढ़ लेती हूँ, लेकिन उतनी फ्लुएंसी नहीं थी मेरे बोलने में। अब मुझे समझ मतलब अंदर से बड़ी घबराहट होती थी कि मैं कैसे इन लोगों से डील करूंगी। तो खैर किसी तरह हम तो ऐसा नहीं था, फ्लुएंसी नहीं थी, लेकिन बोल सकती थी मैं गई, थोड़ा सा मैंने अपने जिनको भी मैं मानती हूँ मैंने उनको याद किया। और अचानक से एक जो उसमें से क्लाइंट था वो हिंदी समझते थे वो, तो उनको लगा कि शायद मैं थोड़ा हिच कर रही हूँ थोड़ा सा बोलने में, तो ही हेल्प मी। तो फिर मेरा जो फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस था, उन लोगों ने ग्रेडिंग उनको देनी थी, तो उन्होंने मुझे फिर अच्छा ग्रेड दिया। ये नहीं लगा कि मतलब मैं उनके साथ थोड़ा सा नहीं बोल पा रही थी या जो भी था। दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ माय जॉब।
Okay. तो
और फिर
उसमें तो
उसके बाद
बहुत सीखने को
वन
मिलेगा।
थिंग मोर आई वांट टू डिस्कस।
Yeah, प्लीज गो अहेड, इट्स ऑल योर्स।
उसके बाद जब मैं, क्योंकि मैं झांसी की हूँ और आई वाज मैरिड टू दिल्ली, इन दिल्ली सॉरी, और माय हस्बैंड वाज अ प्रोफेसर इन दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी। ही वांटेड मी टू वर्क। First day he dropped me at my office and he said कि you have to be independent, आप अपने आप वापस आओगे
वाओ।
और बस में आओगे। उससे पहले मैं कभी बस में बैठी भी नहीं थी।
आप तो घोड़े में बैठी होगी ना, झांसी की रानी हो।
हाँ, फिर मैं वो दिल्ली में मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा था, मैं बसेस में कभी बैठी नहीं। दिल्ली के कनॉट प्लेस में रीगल के सामने मैं खड़ी हुई और बहुत देर में खड़ी रही। मुझे लगा कि मेरे घर के अशोक विहार में रहती थी, वहां का कोई बस आ ही नहीं रही है, मैं क्या करूँ। फिर मैंने किसी से पूछा कि उसकी अशोक विहार की बस मुझे कहाँ से मिलेगी, तो उन्होंने कहा मैम आप गलत साइड खड़े हैं, आप इस साइड खड़े होइए। तो दैट वाज वेरी एम्बैरेसिंग फॉर मी, बट आई हैव लर्नड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स फ्रॉम माय एक्सपीरियंसेस। नाउ आई एम आफ्टर दैट आई ओपन माय प्ले स्कूल। आई प्ले स्कूल मैंने 25 इयर्स तक चलाया।
Oh,
इसके बाद आफ्टर लीविंग द ऑफिस जॉब then I opened my play school, and now I am enjoying with my grandchildren and enjoying my life, fully enjoying.
so you feel very young with the children around you, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
That's
And
great.
I worked 25 years with the small kids play school.
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
That's all I want to say.
वंडरफुल शोभा जी, बहुत अच्छा लगा सुन के।
Thank you so much.
यू स्टिल इन दिल्ली? आप अब भी दिल्ली में हो?
हाँ, मैं अभी भी दिल्ली में हूँ।
ओके ओके ओके। तो झांसी आना जाना रहता होगा?
कहाँ पर? नहीं, झांसी अब तो बहुत समय से नहीं गई।
ओके।
आपका मैरिज बस एक बार गई थी मैं।
अच्छा अच्छा ओके। दिल्ली को आपने अपना लिया है।
हाँ जी।
बहुत अच्छी।
अब मैं बच्चों के साथ खुश रहती हूँ। सिंगिंग का बहुत शौक है मुझे।
अरे
ड्राइविंग का शौक है, सिंगिंग का शौक है।
ओ,
I write poems and write stories also.
My,
बहुत
my.
बहुत बढ़िया। आपका तो अच्छे अच्छे हॉबीज हैं आपके तो।
इसी में मेरा टाइम निकल जाता है।
बहुत
And अपने ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन को मैं पढ़ाती भी हूँ।
So we should request for a story.
हाँ, एक अच्छा किस्सा आप सुनाइए कभी, स्टोरी का अपना लिखा हुआ।
मैं पोएम तो आपका जो पोएट्री सेशन होता है उसमें मैं 2-3 बार पढ़ चुकी हूँ, लेकिन स्टोरी तो बहुत लंबी हो जाती है। इट विल टेक टू मच टाइम। इतना तो टाइम होगा नहीं किसी के पास कि एक बच्चे की स्टोरी सुनेगा।
हाँ सही बात है।
पोएम्स तो मैं सुनाती हूँ उसमें पोएट्री वाले सेशन में।
अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ एक पोएट्री का भी सेशन चलता है ना यहाँ पे।
हाँ,
So
उसमें
we
मैंने
will
2-3 बार सुनाया। अभी फिर होने वाला है 9 जून को, उसमें भी
so we will have a session where people should tell the shortest stories they can.
शॉर्टेस्ट स्टोरी, हाँ सबसे।
Yes. A story of one line,
जो
story
5
of
मिनट के
3
अंदर
lines,
आप 5 मिनट में आप अगर स्टोरी बोलोगी तो बहुत अच्छा लगेगा।
maximum 5 lines.
for this session only.
It is something like, would you marry me? She said no, and they lived happily thereafter.
हाँ अच्छा स्टोरी है वो। तो ऐसे कोई आपके पास शॉर्ट स्टोरी हो तो आप भी बोल सकती हैं शोभा जी।
Next time I तो
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, नो प्रॉब्लम। थैंक यू सो मच। अरुणा जी ने हाथ ऊपर किया है, सो अरुणा जी गो अहेड। अरुणा जी हैज बीन ए रेगुलर ऑन दिस सेशन। आई हैव हर्ड हर अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स। बहुत अच्छे अच्छे किस्से सुनाए उन्होंने भी। That's why I cannot forget the real journey that had so much of pressure on the entire family. Please, Aruna ji, go ahead. Share.
Thank
Namaskar.
सर, सभी ने बहुत अच्छा अच्छा सुनाया है।
हाँ,
सबका एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अच्छा था। मैं अपने स्कूल का भी थोड़ा सा बताऊंगी और जॉब का भी थोड़ा सा छोटा छोटा इंसिडेंट।
go ahead.
First, I was joined in Roman Catholic school, missionary school in Visakhapatnam. The school was really very nice, very strict, disciplined, very nice school. So, first day when I went into the school, really I was so scared because I have no habit to go out from house. So I was so scared. But in those days, those teachers were very, very affectionate. Even today, we cannot forget those members. They were all Christians, sir, but they adopted everyone as their own children. Everyone. But nowadays, that's not going. Something wrong is going on in schools also regarding these things. But in those days, they were so affectionate. They patted and made us to be free, not to scared of anyone. They made free. They told stories by showing the pictures. Pictures were there. By showing the pictures, they were told like that. They have adopted us as their own child, and 5 years I have studied in that school, but those 5 years were very memorable years for me. Very nice school, sir. Because of my father's transfers, we have traveled to some other places. Only 5 years, primary studies, I have continued in that school.
Okay, 1 minute, Aruna ji, I'm interrupting you. You said that 5 years were memorable for you, school days.
Yes.
Do you think that now you think that those 5 years were great, or when you were a student going through those 5 years, that time you felt that way?
Sir, our time was far better, sir.
No, that is correct. Time की बात नहीं है. I'm just asking as a child whether you are daily looking forward to going to school, और घर में ज़्यादा मजा आता था, या now that you have reached a different level, अरे वो भी क्या अच्छे दिन थे. You are thinking back and feeling कि वो बहुत those were better days.
No, sir, मैं एक दिन भी स्कूल छोड़ने के लिए पसंद नहीं करती थी.
Wow.
100% अटेंडेंस. भगवान की कृपा से कोई बुखार कुछ भी नहीं. 100% ओनली 3rd क्लास में मुझे, जैसे कुमार सर ने बताया, मुझे भी इधर तो चोट लगा, के ऊपर गिर गई थी मैं दौड़ते जा करके. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वोंड 10 दिन मेडिकल लीव लेना पड़ा. अदरवाइज कभी भी स्कूल छोड़ने को हमको पसंद नहीं.
So you liked going to school as a child?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Even I didn't like holidays.
Oh.
Schools were like that in those days. In the same, मैं भी अपना नौकरी में मेरे बच्चों को, माने स्कूल बच्चे, उन्हीं को मैं अपना बच्चे बोलती.
अच्छा.
बच्चों को अट्रैक्ट करके कोई भी स्कूल जाने को पसंद नहीं जाने को पसंद नहीं करेगा.
Okay.
Everybody likes to come school every day.
They look
Daily.
forward. Okay.
Yes, sir. Like that, I made them attracted, and हमारा तो क्या बोलता पंचायत गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स है, लोकल बॉडी स्कूल्स.
Okay.
तो सब पूर पीपल आते हैं, उन लोगों को अच्छा साथ सब सिखा करके, जैसे मैंने उन लोगों को हाउ टू कीप देमसेल्व्स नीट वो भी नहीं मालूम होते थे. वो सब सिखा के बच्चों को जैसे कॉन्वेंट स्टूडेंट्स जैसे बना दिया. सो वो बच्चे भी उतना हमको प्यार करने लगे, और कोई भी स्कूल छोड़ने को पसंद नहीं करते थे. जैसे मैं थी वैसे ही मेरे बच्चे भी थी.
क्या बात.
Entire service, I did the service like that only, own dedicated service. I never thought of my own children. Even if I take one day holiday, I think of those children. अरे बच्चों को कोई कुछ नहीं पढ़ाता होगा, उन लोग बेकार बैठा होगा, वैसी सोचती थी मैं. और कोई रिश्तेदार भी, मेरे भाई लोग कोई भी आते थे, अम्मा तुम चले जाओ स्कूल, तुम्हारे बच्चे ना तुम्हारे लिए फिक्र करेंगे, हम लोग अपना पका के खा लेंगे, तुम जाओ।
अरे
उतना मने, उतना कमिटमेंट थी। भगवान की कृपा से सब पूरा सर्विस अच्छा सा चला। कभी हम मेडिकल लीव भी नहीं लिया। 3 बच्चों का शादी किया, 2 बच्चों का 4 डिलीवरीज किया, सब
वाह,
कुछ। हाँ, फिर भी हम मेडिकल लीव नहीं लिया। ओनली एक ही बार लिया, जब मेरा हिस्टेक्टमी ऑपरेशन हुआ था।
ओके,
1 महीना, वो भी 1 महीना।
आई सी।
देखिए भगवान ऐसा देखते हैं हम, माने हम लोगों का सर्विस को कोई देखे, अप्रिशिएट करे ना करे, ये सब बेकार की बात है, लेकिन भगवान देखता है। जब हम रिटायर हुआ तो उसी साल ये हाफ पे लीव जो होता है ना,
हाँ
इसका
हाँ,
होता, वो 6 महीना का पैसा देने के लिए जीव आया था।
ओ एनकैशमेंट मिल गया आपको, वेरी गुड।
यस, कैशमेंट मिल गया। I was the first one to receive it.
Oh, lovely.
God's grace, sir. Like that, I have completed all my school days happily. My service also so happily, sir. By your grace, if I recollect all these days, yeah, I feel so much happy. I'm excited. I'm so much excited, sir.
That we can see because when you recall those nice days, so अच्छा ही लगता है, you know, those memories, fond
Yes.
memories, जो अच्छे ख्याल है, you relive them. It's always going to be of great help.
याद कर रहे हैं ना, बहुत
हाँ,
अच्छा। Thank you so much for this program, sir.
no problem. Thank you so much, Aruna ji. It was nice listening to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Who would like to speak next? Please raise your hand or Brij Mohan ji, चलिए, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, Brij Mohan ji.
I am audible.
Very much.
Yeah. So actually, of course, it has been a very, very long time of my journey of life. I'm now about 81. So I would like to say that, and I have gone through lows and highs in my life. As Madam had said earlier, God is observing everything,
Yeah.
and if he takes from you something, then he pays also.
Correct.
He compensates also.
True.
See, I have had a lot of problems. My wife is unable to see. She lost her eyesight when she was 45 suddenly. And then my younger son also developed this problem. Earlier, the doctors used to say that no, nothing is, not much is there. Problem is not there. So it will be okay. But then finally, one day the doctor said, yes, he is also having the same problem as your wife's. So then I got very, very disappointed. In fact, I was on the way to my office. And then when I reached office, my colleagues, my juniors, I was actually serving Secretary to the Government of India in the Ministry of Science and Technology. That is Science and Technology. Professor Ramarao, P. Ramarao, was my boss. So my colleagues told my boss that Mr. Vedi is not feeling well, is very much demoralized. Then my boss came to me and took me to his room, and then he inquired about Vedi, and he talked to Dr. Kalam. Hello.
Yeah.
So he talked to Dr. Kalam, who was at that time scientific advisor to the Raksha Mantri. So, and he had inaugurated one of the hospitals in Hyderabad at Dr. L.V. Prasad Eye Institute.
Okay.
So he said, he talked to him, and Dr. Kalam said, okay, you send him to me. I will do the needful. I will give his son the best treatment in the world. If need be, he will be sent abroad. Whatever, I mean. So I went, I knew I had actually started my central government service from finance defense. That is, I was in Ministry of Finance, but I was given its defense division. So at that time also I knew about scientific advisors, etc. I was conversant with the
rooms of the finance defense, scientific advisor and all other thing. So then I went straight to his room. His personal staff also knew me. And he immediately, Dr. Kalam immediately talked to the resident, that's what we call resident director of the L.V. Prasad Institute, and they agreed. And Mr. Dr. Kalam said that you prepare a letter from me, that is from Dr. Kalam to that doctor, resident director of that L.V. Prasad Institute.
Okay.
And you will be surprised that Dr. Kalam, I said, I have never met a person better than Dr. Kalam in this world. He
No.
was so kind and empathetic and sympathetic and everything. He wrote in the letter that Mr. Vedi is a personal friend of mine.
Wow.
And then he arranged for my going there also. I mean, arrange means through milk trunk. I mean, there's a military quota. He arranged, of course, I paid up for everything, but then since I was to reach them there, Hyderabad, after about 2-3 days, so he arranged for that military quota from there. Then myself, my wife, and my son, we all went there. And this Dr. Rama Rao Sahab, he also got, just to mention, he also got Padma Vibhushan later on, and he has occupied very, very good positions. So he's Dr. Rama Rao was also the first director of DMRL, the Director of Metallurgical Research Laboratory in Hyderabad. He said, Mr. Vedi, you and your family will be my guest there. So don't worry and go ahead. And so then this resident director came down and received us and asked all the doctors to see my wife's case, son's case. And he wanted a report there and then. I mean, that same day. And then, of course, they said that, yes, it is a very, this is a long story, sorry. So, but then I will tell you later on, actually, my son also got all those problems and he had to be treated at Shankar Netralaya. And he had almost lost his eyesight, and ultimately they did something which only fortunate people could gain from, because that thing also was in the initial stages. I mean, they put silicon oil in my son's eye to create pressure in the eye, intraocular pressure. And then the operation was successful, although the resident director of that hospital, Shankar Netralaya, had told me that there are only 15% chances. So, but then I told them, if there are 15 chances and there's nothing to, any other thing to do, then let's go ahead with it. And ultimately, this operation was successful. And I will now tell how the God gave. Then I was about to retire. And in National Thermal Power Corporation, there was a special drive for specially abled people. And I asked my son to apply for it. And he was second in the waiting list. They took only one person. So I told that section officer of that NTPC that I am retiring and I will be going from Delhi to Noida. So please change the address. He said, no, sir, only one vacancy was there. So you go to Noida and try there, this and that. He said, you just please change the address. See, then after that, they had a vacancy and they tried, I don't know why, they sent letter to my earlier address from where the address was, from the appointment letter was returned. And then they sent to my address of Noida. That also somehow they wrote wrongly and the postman took it back. And then ultimately they rang up my brother-in-law, my Sala, my in Hoskas who were living there, and I had referred to them as referees. So they told him that this fellow has got a appointment and we are sending appointment letter, but they are not receiving. So my brother-in-law rang me up congratulating me, Jijaji, Sanju has got a job and all that, and the letter is going back and are back. So you just contact them. And my son, he had become so disappointed. So he used to leave house, roam about outside. I had to go outside and call him and try. Sometimes I was unable to say where he is. For hours, I used to search him. Then I used to bring him back. Then, so God was observing. Ultimately, I will tell you that he got a job in NTPC. Then NTPC is one of the best public sector enterprises of Government of India. And then they had introduced one MBA course also. So he also went for that. He took that MBA, and all through this time, when he developed this problem, he was only say 14-15 years old. So I used to read his lessons, not only for graduation but for MBA also, while going to Madras, etc. And I used to read lessons, and you would listen. And then ultimately, I'll tell you, he passed the MBA also in first attempt. See, about 18 papers he cleared in one go, and he got 4 promotions. I mean, 4 raises. So and got married. Now he is having one son, very healthy, and so I will say that he had taken eyesight problems were there for my wife also, but ultimately he paid in the way that now he is well settled. And see, people don't get appointment letters if once the letter goes back and the next person is, but then God was looking at us all this, and thrice they tried, and ultimately we got the job, and then he has got the raises also and all that. So it has been a very, very good journey. I had so many other incidents also about my childhood. So I think I have already taken a lot of time.
थैंक यू ब्रिजमोहन जी, बहुत अच्छा लगा। ये बोलते हैं ना, इफ यू आर डेस्टिन टू, डेस्टिनी जो होती है वो आपको वहीं पे ले जाती है, जब जब जो जो होना है तब तब सो होता है। एंड
हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, यस,
बड़ा,
जब जब जो होता है तो सो होता है।
हाँ बिल्कुल, बहुत सही। एंड एवरीथिंग हैपेंस इन दिस जन्म इटसेल्फ, एटलीस्ट इन माय व्यू। तुम्हारा पास्ट है, अर्लियर जन्म का, आई थिंक एवरीथिंग, हेल, हेवन, एवरीथिंग इज इन दिस आवर करंट लाइफ इटसेल्फ। अच्छा लगा बात सुन के। आई एम ग्लैड योर सन इज डूइंग वेल, एंड आई गेस इट कंटिन्यूज, एंड लेट द ग्रैंडसन आल्सो फ्लरिश। दैट इज आवर बेस्ट विशेस। एंड यू हैव बीन मोटिवेटिंग पर्सन। हम लोग, अच्छा लगता है आप ऐसे आते हैं, बात करते हैं, तो हमको प्रोत्साहन मिलती है हमें भी। थैंक यू,
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
अच्छा, डॉक्टर सेठिया निकल गए, उनको भी बात करना था। हु वुड लाइक टू शेयर पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस with regards to the first day in school, college, office, or any incident? अजय जी हैं, पद्मिनी जी हैं, वीना दीवान जी हैं, लक्ष्मी नाथन जी हैं। Anyone would like to? Yeah, Padmini ji, go ahead. Unmute yourself and go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me? There is nothing much to say as first. I was in those days there was no babysitting LKG and UKG and all that. So my mother used to teach us at home all the tables, maths, and everything. When I was 4.5 years old, I was put into school, primary school, in a small village. The very first day, the teacher who was taking our class, she said, "No, you go to you are not. You don't sit in the class. You go." Then I started crying and came back home, stating that to my parents, my teacher sent me back to home. She's not allowing me to sit in the class. And then my father was wondering why, what happened. He took me to school back, and he spoke to my teacher. And then what she told is, she is very bright. She's not fit to this class. Let her go to third standard straight away. So that was the funniest thing. And when I remember now, I recall the incident now. So I was crying that she has sent me back to home. And our headmistress was so very strict. And being bright student, I was loved by her. And she gave an assignment, some maths, I suppose, I remember. She asked to do finish all the. Okay. I was the only one who finished. The others didn't do, or maybe the homework. I don't remember. And she asked us all of us to ask all of them to stand on the bench, stand up on the bench. And I was being very naughty those days. So I thought it is a fun. So I also stood on the bench. And as soon as she came to the class, she said, "Why are you standing up?" "Simply, ma'am, I like to stand." Then she said, "All the others, you get back to your seats and sit down. Let only Padmini stand on the bench for the whole day." That was the funniest thing I remember. And that's all. And since from the childhood days, I was very passionate about learning music. And there was one music teacher next to our house. She used to teach children. And we were not so well off or to go to the music class. So I used to stand outside the house, the teacher's house, and listen, and come back to home and pretend that I'm having a harmonium. I would open the book and do this like this. It is an harmonium, and I used to pretend that I am playing the harmonium and used to sing. I used to sing with my sisters, elder sisters, mother, everybody. I used to accompany everybody. I used to sing. But only after 13 years, at the age of 13, I started learning formally the music. That's about my school. And when I entered the college, I was in a small town. So I studied in Kannada medium till the 11th standard, that is SSLC, matriculation. And joined the college in district headquarters, taking English medium. I was not very good at English because we used to have start learning English only from the 5th standard. First classes we never learned alphabets. We used to learn at the age of in the 5th standard. And for the very first day, our English professor asked us to write an essay on some subject. And I was doing Hindi exams. So Hindi is being very easy language. When I wanted to write essay in English, all the Hindi words used to rush to me in my memory. So for the knife I didn't remember. I used all the Hindi words for the essay, and remembering those days, I really feel how silly I was at first day. And then, but I did my the graduation with the first class and all those things. As soon as I graduated, I got married, and I was only 18 then. I got a marriage and then went to it's a small village, small town. There was no girls' school in the town. So after the 8th standard, all the Muslim girls used to stop from going from school. My father-in-law was being a municipal councillor. He said, we will start a girls' school for the benefit of Muslim students. Let them also enjoy the education. And he asked me, would you like to be a teacher, do the honorary work for 3 years? And I was so happy. I was jumping. I'm passionate about teaching because I said, oh yes, why not? And so I started the girls' high school and became the headmistress of the school and for 3 years. And then we moved to Chennai. Then those days it is called Madras. And there I worked for sporadically in convents. When my children were very small, I didn't go to school. When they became come to up to second standard, they became independent of studying. I started going like that. I did my service. But now even now I am a teacher, but not for academics, for music. This is my journey, I should say. And I used to love to go to school as a teacher. I don't remember my school days, but as a teacher, I used to go. I like to meet the children, and when they say good morning, miss, it was like music to my ears. I like children. I like. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Padmini Garu.
Thank you.
Very nice to listen to you.
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed it thoroughly, your experience, and we saw the excitement in everything that you mentioned. Oh, great. Thank you very much for that. So, who's next? Ajay ji? Ajay ji has gone still. So we are left with two more people, Veena Diwan and Lakshmi Nathan. Who would like to share your bachpan ke din? No one? क्या ब्रिजमोहन जी बोलिए, you wanted to say something. Unmute yourself.
I can write even a small book about my school experiences because I used to study 1 year in one school. That is all. So,
Raman sir, will come to you. I think Brijmohan got muted.
oh, sorry, because first want you to unmute. I thought that it was my signal for me.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
बोलिए. हाँ जी,
Hello.
बोलिए.
Yeah, about my school, I will say, I had joined a little earlier than 1947. So it was a municipal boys school, and one of our teachers, he was very, one should say, brute. He would beat the students so much that they will start bleeding, and then he will tear off one of the tent's piece and burn it and then apply it on the wound. And like that, so I got scared so much. Then from next day onwards, although I would leave my school along with my brother and other fellows, friends who were living in our colony, but then as soon as we used to reach the school gate, I will retrace my steps and come out of fear, and because this fellow teacher used to beat like anything. So for days together, and my family also didn't know. And I would just see that when the boys are going back home, I would join them somehow, or I will reach home after a minute or two. So one day I was actually playing during that course, and I had got delayed actually. So my parents were worried, and my neighbors had also come to know that I have not reached back. So that fellow who saw me playing under a tree, he said, "Oh, Bridge, my first name is Bridge. I used to be known as Bridge. So, Bridge, what are you doing here? Your parents are worried." So, no, I was just playing here. So then I went back. Then they came to know what happened and all that. Then I told them that our teacher beats, so I was afraid and I was not going. Then my father went to school and told the principal, you have to have a headmaster. So Master Nityanand, his name used to be Master Nityanand. He told them, "By this is happened," and he has become so afraid. The teacher should not beat students like this. So that was also one of the incidents of my childhood.
So were you also called as Birju by your
Pardon?
friend? Since your name is Brij Mohan, were
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
also called as Birju?
Not Biju, bridge only. Bridge.
They are called- we have seen that Suraj becomes Sarju, Brij becomes Birju in many.
No, 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 no.
Eh?
Of course, bridge only. Uh, yeah, bridge. Bridge, I was
Okay.
known as bridge amongst my family, extended family, friends, etc.
Acha, acha.
So I was also very, very naughty, of course, and I was a good sports person in my school days. I used to come first in 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. Even I have got certificates of early 1958. And by the way, I would tell that Mr. Amitabh Bachchan was my colleague in the college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He is from Crodimal College, Delhi University, and we studied in the same 3-year period, 1959 to 1962. He was, of
I
course,
see.
in BSc pass course he was doing. I was doing BA honors history, but he was known as the son of Mr. Harvansh Rai Bachchan. Of course, he used to take part in dramatics, and I once played inter-class lawn tennis match. So he came. My opponent was his friend, one Mr. Sheth. So he came to see the match. So like that, Dr. Sarup Singh, later who became Delhi University Vice Chancellor, was our principal at that time. And by the way, last thing, I visited my college after 60 years, this February.
I see.
And I was the senior most student of alumni of that time.
Very nostalgic, I must say.
So I could revisit my classroom, my whole building of the college. So it was very, very nice to have spent that time. Thank you.
It was really nostalgic, I'm sure.
Yeah, very nostalgic.
You're-
Later, sir, we will be having the same group type discussion so that I can discuss other points, other incidents also.
By all means, I mean, as I said, it's a free format. We normally try to keep a topic and anything in and around that is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
तो
yeah.
इस बार क्योंकि कल इस बालक का स्कूल खुला तो मुझे ये याद आ गया कि मैं स्कूल डेज की बात करने लग गया.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brij Mohan ji, sorry. Ajay Roy ji, you had become completely still. आपका screen was frozen some time back. Oh, now he's gone. नहीं है. अजय रॉय जी आप हैं? आज आप you're in and out looks like. अभी हैं लेकिन वीडियो बंद करके रखा है. Now, Sejal Shah has joined. Sejal ji, would you like to say anything about your school days, first day in the school, college, office, wherever, profession? That is the topic for the day. In case you are in a mood to share, nothing like that. I think there is a general hesitation. Maybe people may just want to listen. ये भी हो सकता है. So fair enough. Everybody has spoken. Whoever is here. So I'm glad I had understood and could go back to school days of many of you with you. It was enjoyable. Two of stalwarts who are 80 plus, that is Raman ji and Brij Mohan ji, have said a whole lot of things, shared a lot of experience, which is very nice to hear. Of course, there were others also spoke very well, Padmini ji, Gyan ji. It was very good. So I would not like to talk because Aruna ji also spoke very well about her. I mean, I'm a little intrigued, because somehow I was not somebody who enjoyed going to school as a school boy. When I was in schools, I always wanted to have a restricted life where people are very strict and we are getting beaten up for everything. As a normal child, I used to get beaten up by school teachers. So finally, I was looking forward to my life in college. So when I went to college, I felt that ये तो बहुत खुला खुला है यार. This is also not very enjoyable. Nobody is questioning you. Because we were used to getting questioned in school for whatever we did. यहाँ पे तो कोई पूछने वाला भी नहीं है. तुम चलो कहीं लेक्चर्स मिस कर जाओ और कैंटीन में बैठो या फिल्म देखने चले जाओ. So that was all very easy. It became. तो नहीं इसमें मजा नहीं यार. अभी कॉलेज जाने में फिर पैसे नहीं है. We have to earn. Once I start earning, I'll see all the movies. So you look forward to the next stage of your life कि कहाँ हमारा ग्रेजुएशन हो, कहाँ पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन हो, जो भी करना है. They were all, not something which I like to do, but had to be done. क्योंकि हमको था कि यार फैमिली को सपोर्ट करना है, आगे चल के कुछ कमा के ले आना है घर में. Frankly, if you ask me now, when I relive my school days, I enjoy it. But as a student, I never liked it. I would have, if I had a choice, I would have stayed back at home. घर में मुझे ज्यादा मजा आ रहा था.
It is possible that the like for school is impression formed now, but we are not aware of it.
Yeah,
We think that we enjoy and a lot.
correct.
It is also possible. It is also possible.
Correct. Hindsight, I feel
Yeah,
कि अरे वो भी अच्छे दिन थे.
Quite true. Quite true.
While in school, I just wanted to get out of the school and go to college or whatever. It was a free.
எப்படா bell அடிக்கும்னு காத்துட்டு.
Correct. We were just waiting for the school to get over, run home, go play. Outdoor children we were all, unlike the current lot. So whole life, when I live back now, I feel it was great. But I did not enjoy my schooling. मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं था स्कूल जाना. क्या यार वही पढ़ाते हैं, होमवर्क किया नहीं किया, मार खाओ. My logic is very
Generally, you will like this school if you have your favorite teacher.
Oh, teachers, my favorite hai. Even I go and meet our teachers now. She is 96-year-old. Kalavati teacher is there. Whenever I go to Bombay, whenever there is a possibility, I go and meet her. She only taught me for one, but her son is my classmate. So we have some affinity. Otherwise, I liked all the teachers hindsight made, but not as a student. मुझे तो I just wanted to escape school. I wanted to escape college. Generally escape life. जो भी हुआ है होता रहा है. It has just happened.
Ajay ji is here.
हाँ, अजय जी was missing, so हमने बोला कि हम थोड़ा कुछ गपशप कर लेते हैं. अजय जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे अपने स्कूल?
मैं गपशप करने के लिए तो मैं तो हरदम तैयार रहता हूँ. I like and especially your session तो मैं कोई मिस करना ही नहीं चाहता. और अभी बच्चे एकदम ऐसे ही कुछ बाजार जाना था तो मैं इस बिटवीन गया तो वो नेटवर्क कट गया था.
हाँ. Actually, I feel sorry for the current children को 2-2 साल से बेचारे स्कूल चले जाते हैं. प्ले स्कूल हो या किंडरगार्टन हो या अब मैं तो आराम से 5 साल तक तुम खेलता रहा बिल्डिंग में हमारे बच्चों के साथ. फिर स्कूल जाना पड़ा, दुखी आई वेंट टू स्कूल हो गया, एक से बढ़ के एक कुछ ना कुछ होता रहा. बट when I look back, I have been really enjoying it. और अभी I am running the school का alumni virtually. A lot of we bring together all of us and we relive our old days. कैसे मार खाए थे, कहाँ punishment हुआ था. These we enjoy that more than पढ़ाई की तो it was not a priority for me. But वो भी हो चुका है. You had to do it. It was more like a duty that you needed to do. But it's always like, मुझे मेरे लिए, I'm sure some of you said that you were looking forward to going to school. I never did. Nor college, I was looking forward to going to cinema halls during my college days. तो ठीक है, जहाँ फ्राइडे हुआ तो चलो यार 2 लेक्चर अटेंड किए और वहीं से चल दिए मूवी देखने के लिए. This was my passion. But finally एग्जाम तो लिखना था, उत्तीर्ण होना था, पढ़ना था, मिनिमम लाइफ शुड गो ऑन. सो उसके लिए पढ़ाई हुई. If there was a choice, I would not have studied. चलिए, good. So that was my kind of experience. It was quite different from many of you who were good children, I must say. So shall we call it a day and hope to meet you all next week with another topic which we will all enjoy discussing. Thank you everybody for a lovely evening.
सर एक बात कहना चाह रहा हूँ मैं.
हाँ बोलिए अजय जी बोलिए.
कि नेक्स्ट वाले उसमें सेशन में
हाँ जी
आप जो टॉपिक रखना मैं बता रहा हूँ, बाकी सबकी अभी देख लेना कि
हम लोग शादी कैसे हुई।
हाँ वो एक बार हो
ये
चुका है,
टॉपिक ना कि
बहुत
बड़ा
पहले हो
बड़ा
चुका है, हाउ यू मेट
बड़ी
योर
फनी होती है,
पार्टनर।
मेरे साथ तो बहुत फनी हुआ है, तो इसलिए
हाँ
नेक्स्ट
हाँ
वाले में
we will
एपिसोड
do
जो है,
that, वो भी करेंगे हम लोग।
हाँ, कि
Because-
कैसे हुआ, हाउ वी मेट, हाउ वी कम टू
Correct,
द
correct.
फाइनल,
ये क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ?
कैसे हुआ,
We can-
कैसे
anyway,
start हुआ।
हम ये जरूर बात करेंगे क्योंकि ये एक बार हो चुका है, बट इट वाज अनदर सेट ऑफ
अच्छा
पीपल।
ये हाँ हो चुका है शायद, हाँ।
हाँ एक बार हो चुका है, हाउ यू मेट योर सोलमेट।
तो अब
वी कैन रिपीट यार, रिपीट
हाँ
करेंगे
नहीं
तो
रिपीट
अच्छा
में
लगता है, एटलीस्ट ये बात
सबसे
अच्छा
ये
लगता है।
हाँ कि नया नया कुछ मतलब कोई नई चीज बताए।
हाँ वैसे स्कूल का भी एक बार हो चुका है बहुत पहले।
हाँ स्कूल का भी हो चुका है, ट्रेवल का भी हो चुका है,
बदल
ये सब हुआ है।
बदल
करेक्ट,
गई।
अब
हो चुका है तो।
हाँ हो चुका है। अब तो
बट देयर सो मच टू टॉक अबाउट यार, उसमें कोई कमी नहीं है।
वैसे नेक्स्ट में हो सकता है
चलो
कि
नेक्स्ट
आज
वीक
हमारे
वी
उडुपी
टॉक
में भी
अबाउट
बहुत
आवर।
अच्छी रेन हुई है, तो रेनी सीजन भी आ रहा है
हाँ वो भी है, अर्चना जी
ना।
प्लीज।
उसमें रेन डेज का कोई अपनी वो भी शेयर कर सकते हैं
हाँ
कि
बिल्कुल।
है
तो
ना
अभी मैं
पुरानी।
अभी से बोल देता हूँ, नेक्स्ट वीक का टॉपिक है हाउ यू मेट योर सोलमेट। क्रिएटिव
हाँ
टीम अर्चना जी बोल देगी कि अप फ्रंट सब
ओके,
करेंगे सो एवरीबॉडी कैन कम प्रिपेयर्ड।
अच्छा प्रिपेयर करना भैया, अपने अपने घटनाएं, दुर्घटनाएं
घटना,
और घटनाएं।
हाँ वो जो भी है घटा है ना घटना।
दुर्घटना और घटना तो,
बिल्कुल
तो शेयर
बिल्कुल।
करने में बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, मजा आता है।
हाँ
ये गेट
बिल्कुल मजा।
टुगेदर हम लोग फैमिली का करते हैं ऐसे, तो वहाँ पे ये टॉपिक रखा जाता है जरूर कि अपने अपने सब
हाँ
फैमिली वाले अपने अपने बताएं कि क्या कैसे क्या हुआ, कई चीजें भूल चुके होते हैं, तो अच्छा लगता है। इट्स ए गुड गुफ्तगू सेशन, इज ए awesome session. I
थैंक यू
really
थैंक यू
like it.
थैंक यू अजय जी, एंड विल लुक फॉरवर्ड टू मीटिंग यू नेक्स्ट वीक। आप जरा मसाला तैयार करिए, थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा एक्स्ट्रा जरूर करिए, और
हाँ
अपनी
एक्चुअली
टीम को भी साथ में लाइए सो दैट उनका वर्जन भी हम सुन सकेंगे।
हाँ, और पॉजिटिव वाला करना है कि भाई कोई
हाँ
दुख भरी बात है नहीं,
नहीं नहीं,
खुशी खुशी वाली,
बस 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 खुशी खुशी खुशियाँ बांटो यार, बहुत अच्छा लगता
खुशियां बांटने हैं बस, और क्या जिंदगी में रखा है इस टाइम, तो खुशियां ही बांटो बस।
है। जरूर जरूर। So
ओके,
thank you so much all of you for being there.
थैंक यू, हैव ए नाइस गुड नाइट।
Good night.